Check 1 2. Check 1 2. All right, these mics is hot. Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Check 1 2. All right, mics is hot. We're gonna get right into it. Yeah, this is I got somebody. I was watching a report by George Galloway, and this dude is one of the sharpest people in Europe, if not the world. So I'm gonna just let him talk. We're gonna get right into it.
TikTok, a particularly strong showing on TikTok, more than 500,000 views. But for the rest of you who are used to this, fasten your seatbelts, because I'm going to have to talk tough, not to you, but about our leaders, because
Sure.
we are headed firmly for disaster. The proximate reason for choosing this subject to lead off my monologue this evening was that in the early hours of this morning, I paid £1.97 for 1 litre of diesel. It's a Volvo car. It's got good mileage, thank God. If it didn't, then even I would have been in serious trouble. £1.97 for a litre approximates to £8.94 per gallon. It will be within days, I suspect, at least in the filling station I attended last evening, £9 per gallon. £9 per gallon is a kick in the backside of an almost literally unbelievable £10 a gallon.
So in case you don't know the conversion, I'll do it for you. The conversion on that is $11 a gallon. Right? I'll do the conversion for you in case you don't know. In case you don't know, that's $11 a gallon for gas. That's where they pretty much looking at in Europe. From London to Germany to Poland, right? Because of what they did, right? By starting this war with Russia. Right? 11 fucking dollars a gallon. How long? And I think it's 4 to 7 in the US. But you kind of see where this is going, right? 11. And that's just the starters. This is just getting started. We only in the first 60 days of of World War III. Right? Fuck the bullshit. Let's just cut the bullshit. This is World War III. Let's just cut the bullshit, right? Right? We're just getting started. This is just a warm-up. Right? Let's continue.
This is not a cri de coeur for my petrol bills. I can afford to pay them, though there are many people who cannot afford to buy fuel for their vehicle at that price. And those people would tend to be the very same people that require their vehicle in order to get to work, in order to carry out their working duties, or who live, as I do, in places where public transport is a phantasm. Public transport round here, you'll wait a day for a bus to come by. There is no alternative to driving for millions of people in Britain, and in the United States for scores, maybe hundreds of millions of Americans. And yet the price of fuel is rising inexorably. It's going to, of course, feed into the price of everything else, because thanks to the destruction of much of our railway network, almost everything that you consume in a shop, in a restaurant, anywhere else is brought ultimately by road. If the price of traveling by road goes up, so do the prices of the goods that are traveling by road. If you add to that the shortage of essential foodstuffs that is now feeding fast through the pipeline, like wheat for one thing. Wheat is in everything. It's even in your burger. McDonald's burger, other brands are available, but they all contain wheat. Russia's the #1 supplier of wheat in the world. Ukraine is the number 2 supplier of wheat in the world. For reasons which will be obvious, will not be eating much, if anything.
So you understand, right? So you understand what you hear what he said. So Russia and Ukraine are the number 1 and 2 producers of wheat in the world, not the United States. We're number 1. USA, 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 USA. We're number 1. Well, you're not in wheat, you're not. Not in wheat. In wheat is Russia and Ukraine, right? But I bet a lot of these motherfuckers screaming, USA, USA. They didn't know that. Right? You didn't know that, did you? So, wait a minute, let me get this straight. You motherfuckers just started a war and sanctioned and cutting off the number 1 and 2 suppliers of one of the biggest food products in the world. Oh, hey, who's the smart guy who decided to do this? Right? Who's the smart guy that USA, USA, wait, calm down. Who's the smart guy? Excuse me, Mr. Exceptionalism. Who's the smart guy that decided to start a war with the number 1 and 2 suppliers of wheat in the world? Oh, yeah, it was Joe Biden and Obama and the rest of these people, right? Great, good idea, right? And drive the price of gas in Europe up to $11 a fucking gallon. For starters, we may be looking at $20 a gallon in Europe. It's 11. It can get to 20. That's only $9. Can you imagine? Are people's checks gonna go up to $20 that could support that? Hell no. How the fuck are you gonna get to work? And if that happens in Europe, what happens in the United States? All right, let's continue though. Let's continue.
Of either of those 2 wheat fields. The price of other foodstuffs is also beginning to rocket, where those foodstuffs are not themselves becoming unavailable. If you eat fish and chips out of a British fish and chip shop, and who doesn't in my country, then eat this. 1 in 3 of our fish and chip shops is set to close in the next 12 months because it will not be able to get the sunflower, which they require for their cooking oil. Where does the sunflower come from? It comes from Russia, silly. It comes from Ukraine, silly.
Oh yeah, and sunflower oil, right? So now you can't get sunflower oil as well, right? Which now the restaurants in Europe is going to be shutting down because they can't get the oil to cook the food, and they don't have a replacement lined up. Wow, this is brilliant, yo. USA, USA, USA. This is fucking brilliant. Who's thinking this stuff up? So now they're gonna start shutting down restaurants, laying people off. Because if the restaurant shut down, think about it this way. The person in the restaurant, there's managers, then there's the general manager. There's people that don't even work in the restaurants. The people at the corporate office, all these motherfuckers gonna get laid off. Right? Now you got the Great Depression. You got a depression the size of which you have never seen in the fucking universe unfolding. Right? 1 in 3 restaurants closing in Europe behind this. Right? And this is just the warm up. This is just the warm up. We just getting warmed up, y'all. Right? So you're talking about wheat being shut off, right? You're talking about oils to cook the food, sunflower oil, getting cut off, right? This is just for starters. You're talking about cutting off gas with gas is now 11, possibly going to $20 within the next month a gallon in Europe. The reverberations of this shit is a fucking nightmare. This is going to create a depression. The likelihood of you never a collapse in the stock markets, a collapse. Now, fuck the stock markets, a collapse in the availability of food, right, and fuel. So this shit could go Mad Max, right? This shit could go Mad Max. But let's continue.
And the price of fertilizer has rocketed. And so the shortage in the fields come next harvest is not rocket science to estimate. The price of fertilizer has rocketed because the geniuses that run the British and American governments have sanctioned Russian fertilizer. Russia is one of the biggest suppliers of fertilizer in the entire world. You see where I'm going here?
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Fertilizer? Oh, USA, USA, USA. Bow! Oh, you just shot yourself in the foot. You just cut off the biggest producer of fertilizer. Oh, let me think for a minute. Hey, what do we do with fertilizer? Well, you use that to grow food. Where? Everywhere, motherfucker. Everywhere. Oh. Huh? Wait, what? Yeah, you just cut off the biggest supplier of fertilizer that they use to fertilize all crops on the goddamn planet. Even in the USA, USA, USA. We number one. We number one. Oh, wait a minute, but not in fertilizer. What? We don't got no fertilizer. Hey, call Joe Biden. Hey, where is Obama? Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. We can. We don't got no fertilizer. No, we can't. Oh yeah, yeah. No, we can't get no fertilizer. So we don't got nothing to grow the food with. For real? Yeah, motherfucker, for real. We ain't got nothing to grow the food with. Okay, let me think for a minute. Yeah, go ahead. Take a minute. So you motherfuckers done cut off the biggest supplier of fertilizer that you use to grow food with in the world. Think about that for a minute. Let that sink in. Let that shit ooze into your brilliant genius brain. Right? How the fuck you gonna grow the food? What you gonna switch to overnight? It's how many people in America? Give or take what, 300 million? There's a famine coming. That's my point. All jokes aside. They're getting ready to create a fucking worldwide famine where motherfuckers is gonna starve to fucking death. Not to mention the war. If the bombs don't kill you, the lack of food will. But let's keep on going. This gonna hurt.
We've got leaders that have struggled mightily to lift a huge stone, only to drop it on our feet. Not their own, they're well heeled. Their feet are not in the way. The ministers, the plutocrats, the oligarchs that run Britain and America will not run short of any of the things that I have just described. But you will. You will either not be able to get essential products, or you will only be able to get it at a price that you cannot afford. You'll notice that I didn't mention Russian gas. I didn't mention it perhaps because it's the most serious of all. It's not just that you need Russian gas in Europe to stay warm, or at the height of the summer to stay cool. It's that every factory, workshop, mine and mill is turning on power, electric power, gas power. And
you see this black box right here? Well, I'm going to show you something right now. Some people are concerned that they might have to go for a long period of time without power or electricity. That's why 4 Patriots is
And the Russians are on the verge of telling us they no longer wish us to be their customers. That's because of the absurd hullabaloo about Russia's demand to be paid in its own currency for its own
So
exports.
wait a minute.
I need to spell that.
Wait a minute. So yeah, good point, George. Good point. All of the fucking factories need natural gas and Russian gas and shit to run over there. From London to Germany to Poland to Bulgaria to West Butt-Fuckistan, right? Everything over there is running on Russian natural gas and their oil products. So that means if this continues a little bit longer, maybe 30 more days or so, and they refuse to pay the Russians, and as they start to cut off supplies, the factories have to shut down. That means BMW, oh, that's in Germany, Bentley, right? Or any other fucking thing in Europe, right? Gucci, whatever the fuck they making over there, right? The factories got to start to shut down. What happens when the factories shut down? People lose their jobs. What else happens? Oh, the shit that the factories was producing, you no longer have access to. So you talking about a double whammy. Blam, blam. Right? Not only did the factory shut down and lose your job, but the shit the factory, whatever it is, I don't give a fuck if they make butt plugs, if they make dildos, right? Whatever they make is shutting down because they don't got no fucking power, right? Or they can't afford it or something, right? Or they can't get it or whatever, right? So you not only out your job, whatever they was making, you can't get it anymore. Hold on. USA, 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 USA. We're number one. Oh, wait a minute. And what? Getting people fucked over? How long before all of that shit hits America? I'm gonna set my clock. Right? How long before that shit reverberates across the Atlantic Ocean? Right? Where all this shit, you talking about supply. People are complaining right now about supply shortages. Right? We got a supply shortage. I can't get this. I can't get that. Right? You got supply shortages everywhere. You think you got a supply shortage now. Wait 30 days. Right? Wait 30 days. Wait till the end of the summer when the cold start coming back in Europe. Ooh. It's gonna be the hottest motherfucking summer Europe ever had. Right? It's gonna be hot in the winter in Europe. It's gonna be a hot motherfucker when you ain't got no fuel for the factories, people out of their jobs because of lack of the fuel for the factories, no fertilizer to grow food all summer and spring, right? Gas at $15 a gallon, right? Wow, you talking about a fucking nightmare, right? And they did it, right? Not that I give a shit. I mean, I knew it was coming. I knew, cause sooner or later, fake shit fall apart, and I knew these people was gonna shoot themselves in the foot, cause they just wicked and arrogant, right? USA, 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 USA. We're number one. We're number one. We're exceptionalism, or whatever. We got exceptionalism. Well, let's see how that works out when you ain't got no motherfucking food to eat. And he made a good point. Nancy Pelosi was in Ukraine today with the drag queen comedy president, right? Comedian president, right? Nancy Pelosi, I think she got like a $5,000 refrigerator in her house. That's gonna be full of food while you niggers are starving. Let's be clear. Nancy Pelosi's $5,000 refrigerator is going to be stocked, and the food is going to be falling out while you're going to be looking across the table at your children, right? Or getting phone calls from panicked family members because they don't know what to do because the food done ran out, right? And the lights. You know how in like Iraq and Mexico, sometimes the power goes out for like 6, 7, 8, 10 hours a day, shit like that. Well, that's gonna happen everywhere. Boston, right? Now you got shit missed supplies. You don't have the supplies. You're having power outages, right? You get calls from, you know, your brother. Hey man, I got these fucking 3 kids in here. We're running out of food. I don't know what to do. Well, call Nancy Pelosi. She got, of course, she got a stockpile, right? Right? Because while she over there cutting $33 billion in checks and supplies for Ukraine, they not cutting shit for you. They don't believe in reparations. I mean, if you black, they don't believe in reparations for you or nothing. They just giving billions of dollars to Ukrainians and billions of dollars to Afghanis in Latin America, anywhere, right? Mexicans, but not the Negro, right? You get out here, you Negro, right? But see, everybody gonna be a Negro and a nigger in a minute, right? Cause they don't. Nancy Pelosi don't care. They gonna starve out everybody, right? To do what they want to do. And you know what? I wasn't gonna talk about this, but I am. I'm gonna get back to the end of this. Remember the Georgia Guidestones, where they said they wanted to reduce the population? If you don't know what the Georgia Guidestones is, you should look it up. Because that didn't make sense to me until just now. Until I saw this report and I realized how bad it was. How bad things are, right? And the Georgia Guidestones talks about depopulating the planet. Well, y'all about to get depopulated. See, Nancy Pelosi gonna be fine. That's why she don't care. She's over there. You know, a funny thing. Go look at the. I might even do a piece on this. I saw a video, her and it was like this coon from the House of Representatives, some black coon, and some white person. Zelensky walked up. He spoke to everybody except the Negro. He shook their hands. The Negro was standing behind her. He even looked in his direction. Everybody know that the Negro is useless. He's just there to convince the other Negroes to go along while they starve. While they cut them a $33 billion check. And while you gonna starve, the ghettos is gonna look, this shit is gonna go Mad Max. Right? It's gonna go Mad Max. Unfortunately. In the first place is the ghettos. Right? So while you got this nigger coon representative standing back there that nobody really wants to even talk to, they just using him because we got to convince these Negroes back in America to vote for us, right? So you stand up here and be quiet for the photo op and the camera, little Obama, part 4. You stand behind there, right? And then we'll go back and tell the Negroes, hey, this is good. We fighting for justice, freedom, and democracy. While we tell them, well, we ain't cutting y'all no checks. We're going to cut them $33 billion. And then this shit going to go Mad Max, and you going to be the first one to starve. Because you at the bottom economically in the U.S. You have no preparations, no resources, no $5,000 refrigerator full of food. Like Nancy Pelosi and her coons. The Congressional Congress, right? So you're going to be sitting in Baltimore or Compton or Chicago or Houston, right? Calling up your black representative. Say, hey, I saw you in Ukraine. I was just wondering, we ran out of food. Can you help us? Like you did those Ukrainians. I mean, I know you gave them $33 billion, but I was just wondering, like, we don't have any food and I got like 4 kids in here and stuff like that and we need some help. They're going to say, sorry, nobody's available right now. Right? Nobody's available right now. Sorry, we'll get back to you. Right? Oh, okay, thanks. That's your fate for supporting these people. So congratulations, you played yourself. Right? I just like to say congratulations to all the black people who voted for the Congressional Black Congress, who's cutting $33 billion in checks for Ukrainian Nazis, and you're about to starve to death in a famine. Right? Not to mention all hell was gonna break loose in the streets, right? Anyway, so let's bump the rest of this off.
Out because so many people are so silly about this. If I told my gas supplier I wasn't going to pay him in pounds, I would prefer to pay him in rubles, he would laugh in my face and cut my gas off. Yet so many idiots can't grasp that if Russia wants paid for its gas in its currency, it is perfectly entitled to do so. And if you refuse, it will cut off your gas. Now, 9 countries have already. Some of them have done it secretly. Others have publicly conceded that they have, like Italy, like Greece, have opened ruble accounts at the Gazprom bank and are now paying right now for their gas in rubles. One imagines that their supply will now be secure. But what about countries like Poland or, heaven forfend, Bulgaria? Poland has announced it will not pay Russia in rubles. So Russia immediately stopped its gas supply last Friday. But what does Poland intend to do? It intends to buy Russian gas from Germany. But the Russians are quite good at chess. So they've said that whatever Poland buys from Germany will be deducted from Germany's allocation of gas, because it will not allow its ruble requirement to be circumvented in such a comic opera way. So if the Germans decide to sell the gas to Poland that Poland is no longer prepared to buy in rubles from Russia, then the consumers in Germany will go short. The price will rocket and the factories will stop operating.
That's right.
I'm going to concentrate on Germany for a minute.
That's right. So Poland said, I'm not going to pay, right? So we're going to get it from Germany. Who's getting it from Russia, right? They say if you do that, we'll just cut it. We'll short them. Whatever you buy from them and don't give us our fucking money, whatever you buy from them that they buy from us, we're just going to cut them off from that. So if you get, 20 million barrels from them, we'll just cut. They'll get 20 million less, creating a shortage for them for doing that. We're going to penalize Germany people for doing that. You can't make this shit up, right? You really can't make this shit up. So in turn, that's going to create a shortage in Germany, right? I mean, so this is just a nightmare unfolding right in front of your eyes, right? And right now, it's all fun and games, right? But that shit is going to change in the blink of an eye soon. Like slowly right now, it's like slowly unfolding. Like, you go to the store. I went to the store. I like veggie pasta. I couldn't find any of the veggie pasta I like. You know, man, or you go places, the egg prices on eggs is up. I went and got a bag of kale today, organic kale. That shit was like $5. The last time I bought it, it was like $3.50, right? A couple of weeks ago. I mean, this shit, everything is skyrocketing, right? So right now, it's slow, but at a certain point, it's going to accelerate, right? It's going to accelerate. I would probably say, by the end of the summer, it'll accelerate. It's already accelerated in Europe, but in the United States, it'll probably accelerate around the end of the summer, right? Because Joe Biden, right, the segregationist KKK member that all Negroes can't stop voting for, he is pumping the reserves to keep the gas prices down. The reserves are going to run out by the end of the summer. You see, the reserves are going to run out. This war is going to go on for years. Well, it's not going to go on for years because we're not going to be around that long. It's not going to. You're not going to be able to. They're not going to be able to continue this for years. But the projection is for years. barring nuclear strikes, right? My prediction is before we get to years, there's going to be nuclear strikes. But in the next coming months, in the short term, right, you're going to have a fucking nightmare unfolding slowly but surely, right? Slowly but surely, right? Particularly in Europe, it's going to be ground zero. Obviously, you can see that, right? So, anyway, let's finish this off.
Because it's the most powerful economy in Europe, and because if it heads south, then every other economy in the European Union, including our own in Great Britain, will head south with it. I'm going to give you some facts. Imported electricity costs in Germany over the...
This drone designed to save lives mysteriously disappeared. There's a tiny US drone company that made a groundbreaking new drone, and it's taking the quad...
over the last 12 months, never mind over the last 4, has risen by 440.8%. The price of imported coal rose by 307.5% in Germany. Gas by 304.3% in Germany. And petroleum products by 110.3% in Germany. And oil by 81.3% in Germany. The German employers have said this weekend that the only way that the German consumer can have enough gas next autumn and winter is if the factories begin to close. And those factories, in Germany they still have factories. They still employ thousands of people in those factories. If they start to close, will cascade millions onto the unemployment queues. Just at a time when Germany is filling up with even more refugees. What could possibly go wrong? The German economy crashing and burning, whilst millions of new potential scapegoats for a rising tide of German ultra-nationalism, I'll go no further than that, begins to rise. And don't tell me it's not happening. Look at the German media. Look at the vandalism and Russophobic hatred on display in Germany. Look how easily little soldier Schultz has reverted to type, a peacenik, with his Green Party peacenik partners, are now rabid for war against Russia.
That's right. That's right. So he's just outlining how this is going to go. This whole collapse in Europe that's now taking place. It's going to create a nightmare in the whole. It's going to cascade around the planet, right? This is, and these people shot themselves in the foot. You know what I mean? But this had to happen. It was just a matter of time. It was going to happen anyway, right? Germany. See, people don't realize history may not repeat, but it rhymes. Who was Hitler's, little history lesson for you? Who was Hitler's pretty much arch nemesis in World War II? Was it the Americans would like you to think it was them. It wasn't America. It wasn't America. It was Russia. Right? It wasn't America. It was Russia was their arch nemesis in World War II. They killed 7 million Russians. Right? Why do you think Putin don't like Nazis? Right? Because they killed 27 million of his family members in World War II. While the so-called Jews complained about 6 million. They killed almost 30 million Russians. Like 5 times that number, right? Right? And you think that he gonna play? You think that he can't be bought. That's the problem. right? You can't buy Putin like you buy Obama or Joe Biden, right? Or Nancy Pelosi, right? You're not buying him off, right? Or like one of these Negro politicians who will sell you for a bucket of fried chicken and some watermelon. Putin ain't like that. He ain't buying him off, right? He ain't forget about what they did to his grandparents in World War II and his parents. He didn't forget about that, right? So he's not fucking around. He's like, you're not gonna just kill 27 million of my people this time and walk away. You see, you wonder why he's fighting so hard in Ukraine right now. It's because you probably don't understand history, right? Why you said this guy's not fucking around. He's bringing the pain. You motherfucking right. He's bringing the pain. He's not like these Negroes, you know what I mean? Or these sand, rats over here. He's not having it, right? That's why it's so much pushback, right? And what are they doing? They're reconstituting the Third Reich in Germany. Like he just said, they're reconstituting the Third Reich overnight, right? And look how it's lining up. So you got a reconstituted Third Reich, which is really the Fourth Reich, Germany. And who's all on the same team? Well, they all been on the same team, but this time, this is what World War II was about. World War II, when the Third Reich lost, was about reconstituting into the Fourth Reich and bringing them all together under the same roof, right? The left wing Nazis and the right wing Nazis, this is it. This is your new world order. It's just a Nazi world order. NATO, call it what you want. And who's on the team? Who's on Team Nazi? Well, you got Germany heading it up, right? All your European, France, Italy, right? All the usual suspects. Oh, in America, the original Nazis who taught Hitler everything he knew, right? Now they have solidified it all on one team, right in front of you, stupid people, right? USA, 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 right? USA, we're number one. We're number one. Nazis. Oh, did I say that? Yeah. We're the number one Nazis. Operation Paperclip. You may not know what that is, but you might want to look it up. Right? So George Galloway is 100% correct. They are reconstituting the Nazis. And as this shit collapse, you're going to see that come out the woodwork in Germany. Right? You're gonna see these fucking Nazis come out the woodwork, just like they came out the woodwork in Ukraine. Right? Right now you can turn away. I don't want to see this. Oh, it's too hard. I don't want to look at it. Well, you're gonna be forced to look at it. Right? Right now somebody's reaching for the pause button or the stop button. I know. Soon you won't be able to turn away because you're just going to be able to open your window and it's going to be right outside your window, right? Because this time it's not World War II. This is World War Z. This is World War III, right? This is coming to a neighborhood near you. Why? Because Vlad and the crew ain't fucking around. They on the no fucking around committee over there. And the more they press them, the more that they going to probably press the button. Cause they like, yo, fuck it. If we going down, everybody going with us. That's how they plan. They plan for keeps over that motherfucker. They already warned you. If we go down, everybody going with us. So I guess Nancy Pelosi and all of them was over there today, right? Hopefully you trust your life to Nancy Pelosi and Barack Obama and segregation Joe Biden, Jim Crow Joe. To press this dude until he pressed the button, and then they gonna run for cover and be hiding in a bunker with air conditioning, food, and troops to guard them, and you're gonna be in the middle of a Mad Max movie, right? When them nukes hit Washington and in Baltimore, in New York, in Miami, in Denver, in Los Angeles, right? In Washington, and Kansas, and Nebraska, right? In Nevada. You're gonna be running around scrambling while they sitting in their little facility eating cake, right? And cracking jokes and shit. You gonna probably have, it's gonna look like Mad Max, right? Fucking stores getting looted. You can't go, don't go outside, right? Where them kids at? Get them kids, right? Lock your doors. Fuck, lock the doors. Board them motherfuckers up, right? That's what you looking at. Board them motherfuckers up. Close the windows. Turn the lights out, right? And don't talk too loud, motherfucker. Cause we don't want nobody to know we in here. That kind of scenario, right? This shit is a nightmare. What these people are setting up, right? They're gonna really. So you basically reconstitution the Nazi Party, the worldwide Nazi coalition, and then release all hell, on the earth. And it can only be one reason why they're doing this now. You go back and look at the Georgia Guidestones, but let's finish this up.
77 years exactly since the Soviet flag was hoisted over the Reichstag and Berlin lay in ruins. Its fascist dictator dead like a rat in a basement in the Reich Chancellery bunker. 77 years, that's all. There's people watching this that are more than 77 years old. My mother, for one of them. There are many people like me that grew up in the shadow of the cataclysmic events of the Second World War, who know that fascism didn't arise in Germany out of thin air. It arose out of a set of material conditions which Western idiot governments had themselves helped to pave the way to the rise of fascism.
So now I'm gonna stop right there, man. He said something. He said 77 years to the day that the Soviets, right, defeated Hitler. You know, 7 is a biblical number, right? I'm gonna end on this one. 7 is a biblical number, right? 7 is called the number of God, right? Often we see the number 7 in reference to the holy works of God, right? God creates the earth in 7 days. He commands the Israelites to make the 7th day of the week, the Sabbath, a holy day with no work, right? Right? 7 is a holy number. Y'all don't understand though. I know you don't understand. 7 is a holy number, right? The universe, the language of the universe, ones and zeros, binary, is numbers, right? It's mathematical, the language of God, right? Y'all don't understand, right? The 7 feasts or Judean holidays, right? Passover, celebrating that exodus from Egypt, right? The sacrificing lamb, later represented by the Messiah, right? The first Messiah, right, who was sacrificed, right? The Feast of Unleavened Bread, the first fruits, the Feast of Weeks, the Feast of Trumpets, Yom Kippur, the Feast of Tabernacles, the 7 churches in Revelations. The 7 churches in Revelations, y'all. The number 7, 77 years to today. Right? That the Russians crushed the Nazis. that they battled. And here we are again. I told y'all. Right? Here we are again. The reconstitution of the Nazis. NATO. Right? The book of Revelation starts by addressing 7 different churches who are in varying degrees of their spiritual walks. Some, like Smyrna, right? There's a city named Smyrna in Georgia. Right? I used to live there. Appear to have strong walks. Right? While others have no good marks and a terrible lukewarm spiritual fervor. The number 7, right? The number of the Bible, the number of God, right? 70 years of captivity. The Israelites entered captivity. They resided in Babylon for 70 years, right? Jeremiah 25:8. Every 7 years was supposed to be a year of rest, right? The Jubilee, right? 7 in Revelations in relation to 666, the mark of the beast that y'all getting ready to take. A lot of y'all already took the mark, that some of that with that jab, you know. As mentioned before, right? 6 tends to be associated with man. God created man on the 6th day. The devil's number, or the number of man, rather than the number of God, 7 is 666. Right? The number of God. Right? By contrast, 7 is greater than 6, although the devil will create false religions like Christianity. Ah, yes. Christianity is a false religion. Christianity, Western, Catholicism, the Baptists, the Protestants, Mormons, these are all false religions. Right? Right? By contrast, 7 is greater than 6, although the devil will create false religions. Where is that written at? You say, well, you say black, what you saying is not biblical. Yes, it is. Go back and look at the book of the prophecy of Ezra. It's on my page. I've talked about this. Welcome to the apocalypse. I've been here waiting for a very long time for a lot of y'all to get here. Right? So welcome to the apocalypse. Go read the book of Ezra. And he will explain to you how Christianity is a false religion. And he wrote this in the book 2,000 years ago. Right? He told you what was going to happen right now. Right? So you can read Ezra, and then you can come back and read Revelations, and then it'll make sense to you. You'll understand that Christianity is a false religion. So take them fucking crosses off your neck. Right? You running around with these crosses on. It's just a sign of the mark of the Antichrist, the devil, Satan, the beast. Right? Which ain't shit but a reptilian alien. The people that's over top of all of these politicians, that's who they work for. Right? That's a whole nother story. Right? 7 weeks until God's everlasting righteousness. In Daniel 9, he mentions a period of 70 weeks. There go that 70. Right? 77 years. Right? Marks the day. 70 weeks in which the end of those weeks God will bring about everlasting righteousness. Theologians haven't agreed on when this period started or ended, but at the 70th week God will put an end to the sin. 77. See, God's going to put an end to the sin. What is the sin? Sin is breaking of the laws of God. Right? Or you pork chop these motherfuckers, right? He gonna put an end to sin. That means he had to put an end to you, because you are a sinner and you embody the sin that you won't give up. So that means if God gonna end the sin, he has to end you. In the sinner, right? He has to end the sinner by logic, right? Just by logic, right? Because how are you gonna have sin without the sinner? The lawbreaker. So you got to end the lawbreaker, right? 77 years since they destroyed the Nazis, right on schedule. Vladimir Putin is on time. Welcome. See, you Negroes, y'all not on time. Y'all always late. Oh, but yes we can. Yes we can. You always late. Go get Joe Biden. He's a segregationist KKK member. We're going to vote for him 3 times, and he's going to take us into World War III and straight to the gates of hell. Congratulations, you played yourself. And I warned you. I warned Negroes in my family. I said, this going to end badly for y'all when I saw Obama. And I figured out he was a con man. And I saw him with this KKK motherfucker Joe Biden. I said, you know what? And they all hated me for saying it. I said, this going to end badly for y'all. Motherfuckers spit in your face, laugh at you, call you names. Who's laughing now? Where the laughing Negroes other than Kevin Hart? Somebody get paid to, laugh when there's nothing funny. And Dave Chappelle. This sellout. Right? Who's laughing now? It's not funny anymore, is it? It's when it's not going to be even more funny? By the end of the summer when you're starving, right? When you start realizing the food's getting short and shit's getting higher and higher. It's going to get less and less funny. You're not going to, the entertainment the jokes ain't going to be funny no more. The people that you was making fun of going to say, I told you so. Like me. And it's not going to be funny no more. Right? I don't know how convincing Nancy Pelosi and maybe they can go get Barack Obama to convince you that starvation is okay. Hey, go get Obama. Yes, we can. Hey, how y'all doing, folks? Yes, we can. Yeah, come on, say it with me. Yes, we can. USA, USA. Yes, we can. Right? Let's see why your children and you starving and getting hit with nuclear missiles if Obama can cheer you up. Let's see if he makes sense then. Because all these Negroes, people like that make sense to them. And I try to tell them, these people are illogical. You're not being rational. You shut up. You don't know nothing. You just a dumb nigger. Okay. I gotta go. I got some shit to do. Right? I got something to do. Whatever you say, right? But the stars and the numbers are lining up. 77. 7 years. 7. There it is. The universe, right? Yes, we can. No, you can't. Right? So let me finish this off. I know I played too much. The 7 seals. Let's read some more about the 7. Right? Because this is big. What he said, 77 years since the Russians crushed to the day, since they crushed the Nazis. The great battle. Now here we are again. Russia versus the Nazis. All over again. But you dumbass Negroes probably got a Ukrainian flag on your lapel. Not understanding the sign of the times. Right? The 7th seal. In Revelations we have quite a few series of punishments pouring out for the wrath of God upon the earth. Throughout Revelations we see a pattern of 7s in terms of God's judgment. I told you. I told you. The 7th seal introduces the 7 trumpet judgments that wreak destruction with hail and fire. See, what is Vladimir Putin going to release on you? On you motherfuckers. Right? But see, it's all of us, right? Like, I can't escape because I'm stuck here with I'm stuck. So that's me too, right? Not personal. Right? It's just me too, right? I can't help it. I was born here. Right? All I can do is pray for, just pray for salvation. As the Christians say, right? I'm not a Christian, but as the Christians say, pray for salvation. Whatever that means, right? So the 7th seal introduces the 7 trumpet judgments that wreak destruction with hail and fire, and the 7th trumpet calls forth 7 angels who carry 7 bowls of God's wrath. God can indeed manage his creation in 7. There it is. 77. George Galloway told you. Now I'm giving you the bust down, right, on how profound this is. Like, this is a very profound time that we're living in. 77 years to the day that the Russians crushed the German Nazi armies. And they're about to crush them again. All over the world. History doesn't repeat, but it does rhyme, right? Read a little bit more. I like this. I'm going to read a little bit more. What should Christians remember about the number 7? I'm reading from an article, but it says 7 is a holy number, right? That represents completion or divine fulfillment. God has used 7 multiple times, right? And I'm gonna end it there, right? So, but yeah, I mean, at the end, when he mentioned that 77, my mind was blown, because I knew some of this, right? And so that's why I decided to read a little bit of that at the end of this, because I think it's very appropriate based on what's about to happen, right? This is a nightmare scenario unfolding for a lot of people. For some of us, it's sort of like what the guy, I forgot his name, the creature that fought for Thanos in what was that, Infinity War, in the beginning, when he was walking over the dead bodies of all the Asgardians that he had killed, him and Thanos, when they invaded Thor's ship. And he said, Ebony Maw. It's funny, Ebony means black, right? Ebony Maw is his name. And he said, he walked over the bodies and the destruction, and he said, you say this is destruction. He said, nay, I tell you, this is salvation. Exactly, right? As I walk over the destruction that I see unfold, as I look at the destruction that I see unfolding. See, some people see destruction, but I don't. I see salvation, so I don't have no fear, right? So I don't have no fear, right? I've repented for my sins, as the Judeo-Christians say, right? Or as the Christians say. I don't know if they're Judeo-Christians, right? But I repented of my sins, and I made my peace with my Maker. And you know what I mean? So, you know, but like he said, for some, for some it shall be destruction, for some it shall be salvation, right? So, but anyway, on that.